We are live.
Arty time. Arty time. Excellent for artying.
Audion. Excellent. Okay, let me fix this.
There you go. I screwed it up on purpose this time, just for
Because you
fun.
knew I was going to screw it up.
Well, I had a strong feeling you were, so I preemptively screwed up.
Sometimes I just go with the flow.
It's all good. That's what I did.
I feel like this time I was actually going to try and get it right.
Oh well. Next time. Sorry guys. If you're looking forward for us to get this song right, it might be a while. So yeah.
I did watch Wayne's World 2 nights ago.
Did you actually watch Wayne's
Yeah,
World?
I did. It's actually a great story about a small-time podcast that gets bought by a large corporation, and they basically try and trick them. They give them $5,000 or something and sell it to an arcade and make a lot of money. And Wayne is basically, his story is unfolds him trying to, right that wrong.
Yeah. I've watched it, but it's been a long time. But I do know the song because it's also on a lot of Saturday Night Live skits and everything. I was actually like back in the day watching those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's no SNL clips on YouTube?
I did actually.
Are you the person who told me that?
Yeah, well, I think we figured it out when we tried to practice the song and tried to find a clip. Anyway, let's. What are we artying about today? What's the arty topic of the day?
I thought we were gonna lead into why SNL doesn't have clips on YouTube and what that really means.
That what does that have to do with learning how to make a career as an artist?
Well, YouTube was a great avenue for artists back in the day. Still kind of is. But you leave your radio on, oh, that video is getting pulled. So it's just maybe what we could start off in is some of these great platforms. You got to be adaptable because they could pull the rug out from underneath you, and the whole strategy that was working isn't working anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what we talked about in the last podcast, though.
Oh, because I feel like the podcast is one of the reasons why we're doing the podcast is because it drives traffic.
Well, hopefully, yeah. I mean,
you were saying that you weren't getting that much traffic to your website, and now all of a sudden, YouTube is driving traffic to your website.
Yeah, I get more. We've been doing. This is episode 7 of this podcast. I've been posting on Instagram for like 3 years, and I get more traffic from YouTube to my website than I do from Instagram.
People don't outclick on Instagram.
Yeah, no. So that's why Instagram isn't worth a lot of my time.
No, Instagram's big bonus is that's where a lot of the eyeballs are and the attention is.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that,
the problem is that like personally, I don't want to install it on my phone. So like for me personally, I really have moral objections to the way that those apps track everything you do and monitor your conversations and your messages.
They're listening to you right now.
Yeah, I mean, it just morally bothers me. I don't want to subject myself to those kind of things, so I don't do any social media on my phone at all. So the fact that I can't use Instagram stories feature, I can't even post more than one picture at a time from the desktop version of Instagram. I can't even edit photos. The only way I can edit photos is like with their own editing choices, the Clarendon and whatever.
Dude, they
filters.
removed everything. There used to be like contrast. Even my phone removed that. At one point, my phone updated, and you couldn't even edit pictures. You couldn't rotate and crop. And before that, you could shear and perspective.
On Instagram?
On my phone.
Oh, okay.
And they keep removing these features on my phone. Like, who called in? Hey, could you remove the perspective thing? That was so great because when you take a picture of a canvas, you're never flush with the canvas.
Yeah, it's hard.
So to have an adjustment afterwards, to kind of just and adjust it, a picture sells the art. I mean, let's face it, we're in 2020 nowadays, and we're selling art without actually having the person see it in person.
Yeah, that's the case a lot of times. I mean, literally, probably 200, 300, 200. I've sold probably around 320 paintings. Some small, some bigger. Probably at least 250 of them I've shipped. Like they haven't been to local clients. So I
they
mean,
saw it.
They saw it online and they bought it and they never touched it until it got in. Until it was bought and paid for and in their hands.
Which blows my mind because there's a power in a painting that you cannot perceive through the internet.
Well, I think that's the amazing thing though, is that power can be perceived through the internet, and that's why the social media thing is so important for artists, and that's why it's so frustrating for artists when platforms that used to allow us to reach our followers and interact with them a lot more easily change those algorithms where you're reaching a lot less of your followers, or like my situation where I can't go live on my channel because all of a sudden I don't have enough subscribers, whereas 2 weeks ago it was fine for me to go live, and it was just a sudden change. I didn't get an email about it, nobody told me, we just live, and it's like your channel's not eligible for this feature. So thankfully Germ's channel had already had 1,000 subscribers.
But we were 5 episodes into the podcast when they pulled the rug.
Yeah, we were 5 or 6 episodes in already. So and that's the thing. Like, we were just getting things off the ground when the rug was pulled from us on my channel. We're lucky that Germ had another channel that we were able to go live on, and at the end of the day, we could have recorded these and just uploaded them without going live. But it just saves time to go live because they're already saved on YouTube's, YouTube's video, whatever you want to call it, your archive of your videos. They're already saved there when you go live, so you don't have to upload it and wait for it to upload and all that stuff. So it's more convenient. But they took away that convenient feature on my channel because I don't have enough subscribers for whatever reason. They made this change, and that's been a common theme in social media from day one. Or maybe there was other ones before, but MySpace was the first big one where a lot of artists and musicians and whatever else, bloggers, creative people, got all of a sudden could reach a mass following. I mean, it's really an amazing thing for creative people, this phenomena of social media and the internet.
Yeah. Why did we leave MySpace?
I never had a MySpace. I wasn't an artist when MySpace was booming. I only started painting in 2011, and by then everyone was on Facebook. So I'll be honest, I never looked into why people left MySpace very much because I was too busy working on building my Facebook presence.
MySpace allowed you to edit the code on your own profile. You were allowed to change everything. You'd come in and a video would blast in your face. It's crazy. And I think that's one of the reasons why people left, was that Facebook was a little bit less chaotic. Although, had we stayed on MySpace, we would have found a way to balance that out. I think we made the wrong move on Tom. Tom, if you're out there, you're still my friend.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I wasn't on MySpace, so I have zero experience using it. I don't know what it was like. It's a mystery to me, but that's kind of what I went through with Facebook. Is I used to have huge following on Facebook. Well, not so much a huge following, but I had thousands of people seeing my posts in groups, and that was how I built a lot of my following, was by posting in groups that were related to the type of art I do: visionary art, mandala art, modern art, Canadian art, etc. So I'd post my art in these groups, and people that liked it would add me as a friend. But now when I post my art in these groups, nobody really sees it except mutual friends that are already in that group with me.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to reach new people and grow your following unless you're paying.
Now, did you come up with a solution?
I did, yeah. Actually, I did come up with a solution. I'm getting a job. I'm going back to work part-time because it's honestly been really frustrating dealing with it over and over again, getting chopped on Facebook and then on Instagram, and like it's been really stressful. Because like all these people love my art and I love making it and I love sharing it, but at the end of the day, if I'm having a hard time paying my bills, it's stressful. And when I'm stressed, I don't feel like I give my best version of myself. I don't feel like I'm making art as much as I should be when I'm stressed, because I'm like, oh, I need to sell it, and sitting here painting isn't going to help me sell any art. Like I need to sell some art. And then like when I'm in that mode where I'm like kind of desperate to sell some art and make a sale, like I'm not the most positive me. I'm kind of like I'm stressed. I'm under stress at those times. So I don't know how to what's the word I'm looking for? Like I don't know how to balance that out right now without getting some sort of part-time job. So I applied for this job that's like 12 hours a week. It won't eat up very much of my time during the week. It's 3 hours a day for 4 days a week. So, you know, that's super, super minimal time away from my business and time away from doing what else I need to do to keep my stuff going. Because, like, I can't get a full-time job. No way. Because then I just disappear, you know? Like, I'd have from a full-time job, I'd make more than enough money to pay all my bills and keep my thing going, but like I'd probably be tired at the end of the day and want to watch TV and be like, oh, I don't feel like making this, or I don't have to make a social media post because I don't need to worry about my bills getting paid from my art. My art's not my art career wouldn't be as important anymore. So that's why I applied for something. I got a job that I start next week, but I made sure it was something that was super, super, super minimally invasive on my time.
But what is it? Tell the people.
I'm working a call center again because that's what I'm good at, and there happened to be a call center literally 3 blocks away from me that I found that was hiring on Craigslist. So I sent them an email and said, "Hey, I'm interested in working for you guys. I went for the interview. I'm hired. So done deal."
It seems like the job was made just for you. 3 blocks away, call center, nighttime.
Yeah, it's like an amazing shift for me. It's a perfect shift. It's but whatever, you know, like that's
When was the last time you worked?
the last time I worked for someone else was like 4.5 years ago. It's been 4.5 years. Well, other than my patrons that hire me for custom art when I.
So you don't know how to feel yet.
No, I'm kind of like, it feels very weird. Like I sort of feel like I'm threw in the towel. Like I feel a bit like I'm giving up. I'm not giving up, but like my brain is telling me that, like, dude, you're giving up on your art career. Work harder. But honestly, all the working harder I've been doing, like it's not driving the traffic to my website.
Stressed.
It's just making me more stressed. And like right now, what I kind of need is that stability. Some other news that I haven't talked about on the podcast is I met somebody who's interested in representing my art, and he has a network of people, you know, who he can present my art to, and he has connections with all kinds of business people and executives at you know, multi-billion-dollar companies and things like that. So
see what getting out of the house does for you.
Pardon?
See what getting out of the house does for you.
Yeah, I guess so. But you know, at the same time,
that's what I feel like this new job's gonna do. Just get you out of the house at a specific time. Yeah, it sucks that it has to be at a specific time, but getting out of the house is what I like to do, just get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Just get
Yeah,
out
I
there.
mean, I gotta be honest. For me, I
around.
probably should have done that a long time ago. Gotten something like minimal for, you know, just part time to help make things a little more stable. But when I was sick, which I've talked about in other episodes, I didn't want to leave the house because I was going to the bathroom 10 times a day. You know, even taking, you know, a bus to get to the job, being at the job, I was worried about getting fired, you know, because I didn't go into the bathroom 5 times a day on my shift and things like that. So I couldn't even really consider doing that to help with the stability of things financially. But now that I could, and another reason I did this is I got notification that my rent's going up quite significantly in July. So like, you know, knowing that that's coming, I'm planning ahead. I'm trying to be smart about things to make sure that I'm not stuck, you know, without the finances to keep.
Are we still gonna be doing Arty time?
Hell yeah, we're still gonna be doing Arty time. If anything, Arty time is going to be getting better because I'll have more money to make more cool things to share with you, and like I'll feel more stable with my finances, so I'll be able to work on bigger art like this one behind me, and focus more on making mind-blowing art, because I'll be able to dedicate that time to it. I won't be worrying about, you know, selling that next $200 painting to buy my groceries next week. I can focus on something that takes me a month and that I can, or 2 months.
So you feel like you're gonna do bigger art now?
Well, yeah, I mean that's one of the things that that I feel is required for my art career to get to the next step, is to be focusing on making more bigger art. You know, when I want people to go to my social media profiles, I want them to scroll down and see mostly big art. And for now, it's I have some big art, but most of my art's pretty small or medium sized. And we've spoken about before in other podcast episodes about how a lot of big art gets bought by art collectors and or businesses and corporate, you know, places that have big spaces that need wall decoration and have big budgets. So I think by moving into that direction with my art itself, then I'm going to become more well known for that type of art, and I'll start to attract people that are interested more in that type of art. And I think it's amazing, especially with my mandala style, to have something like that hanging in a really popular yoga studio or some sort of healing type of business. Like, that can resonate something really powerful to become part of that can become part of a space where it becomes like an addition to whatever the business is doing. It all, I don't know, it gives, I feel like art, and I know you've mentioned similar things, like I feel like nice art can make a business better.
100%.
Just like in so many ways, it makes their employees feel more comfortable. It makes them feel like they're working in a higher class environment when there's nice things on the wall. It makes them feel like, it makes their employees maybe more relaxed to see colors. It's not just a big, gray wall. And let's face it, we've all seen those
Murals,
those inspirational posters on the wall in offices. Like, those wore off their effect in 1988. So, like, let's get something new on the wall. If you own a business, like, consider buying some art and see what happens. It's a business, it's a tax write-off if you're a business.
Oh, murals is a big deal nowadays, man. Businesses are getting their walls painted, and it's funny because they could have got a canvas like they can leave with. It's a little bit more versatile, let's say.
But I can see the mural thing. If you own a business, look, I don't even do murals, but I know a lot of artists who do, and I know you do. And I can see from a business's standpoint, if you're doing a mural on the wall, you can kind of really recreate the space every so often, because it's not like, if you get a canvas, you can keep that and move it around, but like a mural can be huge, and then in 2 years you can paint over it and get another mural, and it's maybe a little bit, we could say it could be disrespectful to the artist whose work is getting painted over, but at the same time, if you're doing a mural for a commercial business, that's going to happen eventually.
I mean, if you got paid, what's the issue here?
You're right.
You know what I mean? Let's face it. You're being a drama queen if you think that nobody's allowed to go over your thing ever again.
Mm-hmm. Especially if it's in a business. And I know businesses need to rebrand themselves, especially physical businesses, every so often, because people come and it's the same thing, and it's like, had we spoken about that before, about what to do when you're in a creative rut? No, reorganize things. I think that's one of the things we spoke about off camera, that we're like, we got to speak about that on camera, and then we never did. So if you're in a creative rut, especially if you're in a creative rut, one thing you can do that's super, super helpful is just reorganize your studio.
Just sit at a different spot, dummy.
You can sit at a different spot, but for me personally, reorganizing things tends to work better. Like, move your paint to the other side of your table, turn your table lengthwise instead of whatever. Like, there's so many things you can do to just change little things. Move your light, your studio light, switch it to the other side. Just little things like that, and it literally helps your brain focus more because of novelty. There's new things in the environment, and your brain works like very much like going through paths in a jungle. If you go through the same paths all the time, it's easy, and you don't look around and try and figure out which way to go and how you're going to make this path work. But anything different, and all of a sudden it becomes just a little bit harder to go down that path. Now you're looking around and seeing what's different, and it's not even on a conscious level, it's just on a subconscious level, but it makes your brain work harder. And it works. I mean, I used to manage a call center with 70 employees, and sometimes the whole sales floor would just go into a dip for a while, and I would stay late after work, and I would literally just move the computer screen on every desk to the other side of the desk. So people that were sitting all day facing this way at their desk, the next day they came in and they have to be facing this way at their desk. And it's amazing. Sales went up 10-20% overnight just because of that.
And that's actually a real documented fact that it's having a result.
Yes.
Now, is it the computer on the other side of the desk having the result, or is it your intention having the result, and your intention is being broadcast by the movement of You know what I mean? Like they have to come in and think, why is that there? And the
Oh, they
subconscious-
used to go crazy. Half my employees, when I did that, they'd come in and they'd get mad and they'd want to move the screen back and they'd yell at me and da 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 da. They'd literally walk into my office and sit down and be like, "I can't work this way." I'd laugh. And you know what? I'd be like, "Look, all right, if it doesn't work, if you don't make more sales today, you can switch it tomorrow. Just we can't switch it now. It's the middle of the shift. You're supposed to be on the phones. Like, let's get going." So they'd do it, and then they'd make 4 or 5 sales instead of 1 or 2, and they'd come see me at the end of the day and say, "I don't know why it worked, but it worked." And I know why it worked. Yes, it was my intention, but it was also the pathways in their brains when they've been sitting at the desk reading the same script over and over for a month and a half, and all of a sudden just something like that's a little different. Like all of a sudden they're maybe also reading the script with a little more focus. They're also maybe a little more, like their brain's literally working harder because it's absorbing this tiny change in the environment on a subconscious level, and it's literally making.
But why do people fear change like that? Why do they come in and say they can't work and it shakes them so much?
You know, to get into that, I don't really know. Honestly.
Are you scared about the change that you're going through right now?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it has me anxious. Yeah, there's little anxieties about going back to work for someone else. There's also excitement about it because I'm a sales guy and this job has a commission, and you know I could potentially like make more than people do in a full-time week of work in a 12-hour shift if I get good at this just by working on commission. So I mean, yeah, that's exciting. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still a sales guy. I like to ring the bell. I like to put my name on the board. I like to put a dollar sign or whatever it is they've got going in that office where you mark your sales. But that's every sales office in the world has that where you see how many sales you have compared to the rest of the people on your floor.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, every sales in the world. If you work in a sales office that doesn't have that, like, let me know because I want to hear how you stay motivated. Or maybe it's not a board on the wall. Maybe it's on their computer screen that every time a sale goes through, it pops up on their computer screen that, oh, the average of the sales floor is this now, and Bob and Jim have these many sales, and Susan has this, and da 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 da. And you better pick up things because you're like 8% below the group average. And if you're 20% below the group average for a whole week, you're fired. So.
Dang, eh?
Yeah.
What if the group starts getting good? Then the people at the end start getting fired?
No, because if the group as a whole gets good, that means probably everybody's getting good.
Okay.
And for the business, I mean, if you're having 4 employees make as many sales as 6 employees, then yeah, you fire the other 2 and you save 2 salaries. It's like just business.
I never had a sales job. I only worked in box factories.
No, I had lots of sales jobs. Did you ever get... You worked in a box factory? No wonder you'd make all these Barts.
I worked for FedEx and UPS.
So FedEx and UPS have box factories?
Well, that's what I call them because it's
Okay.
a fucking box factory. If you've ever been to...
Did you ever see the Simpsons episode where Bart
I
gets
told
lost in the box
Oh,
factory?
no, that was the Peanut one where the guy's like, "We've been preparing for this moment for years, you all. You laughed at me," and then the elephant rushes through the factory.
No, there's one where actually they get
get
taken on a tour of the box factory as the class trip.
And he gets turned into a box or something.
Yeah, something like that. I forget the whole
And then
rest
Smithers
of the story,
becomes the Terminator chasing him down. But I call it a box factory because when you were there, dude, it was just a conveyor belt of boxes and boxes and boxes. So bleak. And I've noticed this with a lot of jobs, even because I go around a lot. I go around and I just enjoy life and walking on people working their 40-hour-a-week jobs. Most jobs, like if they don't have to have a client come in, it's so strange, the atmosphere and the decor. No fucks given, never cleaning. It looks like it's 1970s. And it's all over Montreal. If you walk into a spot where there's no client should be walking in there, terrible. And I don't know what. I people do that. They spend their life there. Their fucking life is spent there, and then they go home, fancy ass toilet.
Well, I mean, it depends what they're doing. I mean, I can understand if they're like computer programmers and they're like creative.
No, like everything. They sell floors. They sell fucking shirts. They pleat clothes. Just anything under the sun. If a client is not coming in there, ghetto.
Yeah, I guess.
Ghetto. And it's just, I don't know, I find that weird. I find it's so strange that, like, because no one sees you there, you can live your facade at home with your stainless steel kitchen and you're so fancy. But if anyone saw you at work, bro, you ain't fancy. Fix that wall. Put a painting on that or something. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I can't wait to hear about how the sales office is.
Well, I mean, sales offices don't have a lot of things.
But it's a new building, though. It's a new building.
Oh, the one.
The
one I'm working in.
It's next on the other side with the pharmacy.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah,
so it's a new building, so you probably
it's 3 blocks for me. I can walk there in like 15 minutes. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not winter.
Yeah, and even if it was, I could walk there in 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it takes me like 12 minutes to walk to the bus that would take me into Montreal for any other job. So like 4 more minutes and I'm at work, no bus. Perfect. Like, I got lucky with finding this job. It seems like to me it's meant to be because it'll help me just be stable for a little while, and it's not something I'll be ultra committed to. And
I find everything's meant to be. Like, the fact that I can pay rent with art is a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
When someone comes in and buys a painting and stuff like that, when you think about it,
I paid all my bills for 4.5 years with just my art and my merch.
How the fuck is this happening? How the fuck is money coming in like that? And it always seems that if you just do the right things, it'll work out. In your case...
The truth is, I probably could still pay my bills with my art.
You're just tired of stressing.
I'm just, like, sometimes it's only, like, 3 or 4 days before my rent's due that I have it all together to pay the rent.
Isn't it fucked up? That's what I mean, it's fucked up. It's like the Matrix or some shit, bro. Where it's like, oh, I don't have the money. Oh, shit's gonna go down. Here, 24 hours before it needs, here's your money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the exact amounts. And the art karma thing, if you buy art from someone, then people start buying your art. What is going on?
Mm-hmm.
What is happening?
No, I mean, I got to be honest. While I was sick, I kind of let things go on my business a little bit, especially like the relationships and the rapport with people,
which is important, yeah.
Which is super important. But
how else are you gonna get a Mondo Maestro comment?
I had a hard time. Like,
did you even comment yet, Mondo Maestro?
He actually did. Did you go read the comments?
I have them right here, ready to go.
Like, it sucks, and like I keep talking about when I was sick, but it was true, man. I had a hard time focusing. You know, if 3 people messaged me in a day, I'd be like, oh no, now I gotta first of all read 3 messages and then reply to them, and like.
So your brain state was all wrong.
My brain state was all wrong because I was unhealthy.
If you're unhealthy, it's important to.
Now I'm healthy, so now.
But it's important to take some time from your business to fix your health.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to ride both into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
You really got to put one on. What's more important, your life or the thing you do once you have life?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so fix your health. If you're listening to this and you have a health issue, fix your health.
It's easy to say, but it's hard to do. I tried to fix my health for 3 years, so like if you're struggling to find that thing that'll fix it, just don't give up. Because I was ready to give up, and then it came. You know, but
again, the Matrix.
But I was lucky with that, and I understand if you're out there watching this and you haven't found the thing that makes you healthy yet, and you're like, oh yeah, well what if it never comes, and what if I stay sick?
I think you just keep asking for it, man. The people who seek are the ones who knock. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
That's just the Matrix again. You know, if you ask for it, if you keep asking, for some reason it comes.
Mm-hmm.
It'll come, and you might not be aware of it. But keep asking, and you will become aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is out there.
So yeah, what else?
Do you want to read Mondo Maestro's comment from last week? Any other comments?
Sure.
Okay. Mondo Maestro writes, and I quote, "The intro actually better than the original."
He's right.
Now, are you talking about the original RD Time #1, or are you talking about the original Wayne's World?
I think he's talking about the original Wayne's World, but we shall see.
Okay, it's better than the Reigns. I think so too, especially without the already on part. You just go excellent after saying already time twice. Mm-hmm. It just makes sense to me. It just makes sense.
You keep forgetting the already on.
No, that's what I'm saying. Without already on, I actually think it's amazing.
No, but then it's not. Because it's like already on. Because this whole podcast is about like keeping on.
I do get
so
that.
The already on is like, it needs to be there.
No,
and it's the original song. You're the bootlegger. You can't like bootleg Bart and not put his hair.
Yes, I can. I totally can.
You can, but like, it's not right. It's
not
right. Just ain't right.
I actually have never done that, even though it's like you can put Mickey ears, but you're right.
No. Just like Open. Like, leave his head open. Draw the 2 lines up for the side of his head and
that
leave
would
it
piss
open.
a lot of people off. I actually think that's a good series.
It's like OCD bootleg.
Yeah. You just piss people off.
Like, do Mickey with one ear.
That's actually a very good idea. Okay, then the next comment.
You're welcome. Dankweed Duck.
Dankweed Duck. The other day was 666 M&M guy. You guys haven't seen that. That's backstock.
Secret
stuff.
It's with Pacific Northwest somewhere.
Bugbat writes, another great one, guys. Keep it up. Are you planning on making a dedicated YouTube channel for the podcast? This asshole will have to go and talk about that. I don't think it's a good idea.
What? Did you see my reply? You reply. I replied to him.
No, you reply. Oh, there's replies.
Yeah, there's me replying to people.
Thanks. Not sure if we'll do a dedicated channel. Probably not now. For now. Yeah, because we have to get 1,000 subscribers to that. So
yeah, exactly. So it's
you already have 300 on yours.
I have like 180. So if you're watching this on Germ's channel, like, please go subscribe to my channel so we can go live on either or channel. You know.
I put a lot of weird videos on this channel, so if you want to keep it clean and you already got a podcast to be clean, head on over there and subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, I guess.
And if you want to see some funky videos, subscribe to my channel. Okay, let's see what you wrote to. We'll nail it next time. Maybe lol. No, you fucked it up.
I fucked it up on purpose. Sorry that we didn't nail the song for you this time. Who wrote that?
You already seen these comments. I'm bringing them up, but the black websites are the best visual representation. Oh, here we go. Some guy on his knees sucking his knob here. All right. They're the best for coding and also the best for eyes since they don't burn your face or weaken your eyes. You know what? I hate it when I go on a website and my eyes bleed. Hate it.
No, there are some websites that are pretty obnoxious and like I can't.
It's also good for the environment, bro.
So it's probably good for your phone battery too. So you're welcome. Spend a lot of time on my website with the black background.
He cares.
I care. I care about your phone battery life. There you go.
This guy crushes it. The Caboose Show, you crushed it, bro. If anyone ever talks to you about your black website again, you shut them right up.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to copy paste this.
This is better for the environment.
I should actually make a shirt with this on it and just copy paste it. And anytime anybody comments about it, I'll be like, you should buy this shirt.
And LP writes, invest in real life. So true.
We spoke about that last time. And you know, that's kind of what I'm doing with going to get a job. I'm going to be honest. I didn't leave the house for 3 years. And I still have these this phobia of leaving the house and going out, and it's like subconscious, and it's like I don't even realize it's there. But going out and getting this job is going to be really good for me on a psychological level as well for my financial stability. And who knows?
I can see you gain a lot of confidence from it.
Who knows who else I'll meet? You know,
because you'll go into a group of what's that about?
What do you mean? What's that about?
What's that about? I think that's foreshadowing. That's called foreshadowing.
Well, I don't know.
Who else will he meet?
I don't know. I wish there was some foreshadowing than specific of I met this dude at work that's gonna buy a ton of my art. But it's just being in a social setting with a bunch of new people that are probably live nearby me and in the local area.
Yeah,
so,
and you have a leader.
It's more networking.
You have a leadership mentality role, So once you get into that social dynamic, I think it's gonna give you a lot of confidence. Once you're parlayed with other people, your peers, you know what I mean? Because when you don't leave your house, your only mental image of yourself is what you create. It's not really fully cemented in stone because you need other people to bounce that back off. And when other people give it back to you and confirm that yes you are a leader and yes you're a confident salesman, then you're going to feel it 10 times more. So I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I sure hope so. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. Like I say, I'm kind of excited about it. I'm kind of a little bit anxious and nervous. I'm kind of nervous how people are going to react to it because especially if you're watching this podcast and I'm trying to give you advice on how to go full-time as an artist and here I am telling you that I'm getting a part-time job. But I'm emphasizing on emphasizing on the fact that part-time job was as minimal as possible and it came just at the right time. I literally found out. The reason I went and looked for this is because I found out my rent's going up significantly, and summer is usually kind of a dip for my business. People are spending money more on vacations and actually going to festivals and wearing the stuff they bought from me at Christmas time at those festivals, things like that. So my business kind of goes down in the summer, and I want to enjoy summer. I don't want to be broke like I was last summer. I want to be able to enjoy it. I want to go to a concert or two myself.
Yeah, who can blame you?
I want to enjoy those other facets of life that like are not in this studio and in this basement. So it's gonna be good for me no matter what, and it's probably gonna be good for you guys too because like you said, it's real. It's just the honest truth of what I'm going through right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you that when you're stressed, it's just not the best. Not the best production comes out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And one way to avoid that, and I'm not going to say this because I think you did this, but not squandering money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? By you want to enjoy things and stuff like that, but at the same time, if you want to not have to work a part-time job, then you have to be real with yourself. You're not going to be living the same life as your friends for
that's
the
totally
first couple
true.
years.
That's
your
totally
friends are going to
true.
be able to do all kinds of things because
Yeah.
they work and are sure a paycheck, and you got to take it on the chin.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying I want to line up my calendar with a concert every week and that's not what I want to do. But I'd love to have the money in my bank account to go to 1 or 2 concerts this summer and just
Of course.
have some fun. Like I'm a musician, I love music. I love seeing like when my idols come and they're playing on stage 20 minutes away from me. Like I want to go see some of that sometimes. Just like a few weeks ago, this guy who's been following me on social media, we spoke about it in one of the other podcasts, came by, and he's a fan of my art, and he was in Montreal, and he's like, I can't come to Montreal and not go visit Adam at his studio and his showroom. So like I kind of feel the same way. Like Santana came last year or the year before to Montreal, and I couldn't really go see him because I couldn't afford the ticket, and I had to make a choice between like my business and rent and like keeping things going or going to see Santana. Obviously it's like I can't go see my landlord and be like, sorry, I'm a little short on the rent because I went to go see Santana last Saturday, so.
Although Santana would help the business so much, it would fuel your fire. So that's why some of these things are important in life, to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to take time this year to do, is to take more time to enjoy things. Even though I want to produce more, I still want to definitely enjoy life and show people that you can be productive, your business can still upswing while you enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll actually be good for business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm going to try and master this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to expand into some other things. Like a long time ago, like I got graphite blocks that I want to get into making silver pendants. I got graphite blocks and I got scrap silver that I can melt down to make pendants. But like I need to buy a torch and I need to buy a crucible, which is like the little thing that you torch on to melt the silver down so that
and
you
then
can
pour it into the
I can
you're gonna grind.
I'm gonna grind like with a Dremel tool. I'm gonna grind my little mandalas and a little loop on the top, and then pour silver into these graphite ingots that I have. Wow. And I've had the silver and the ingots for a while, like so I really want to do this, but like
wearing one
the torch and the ingot. Yeah, I gave you that out of scrap. Oh wow, what a cool synchronicity. Hey,
yeah, well I wear it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this was a piece of scrap silver that
I asked
that
if he had silver, and he actually had legit silver, more than any store will sell you. If you go to a store and you ask for a bracelet that thick of silver, they want lots. 50, they want $100 for that.
But this wasn't actually bracelet when I gave it to him. He bent it into the form. But anyway, there's so many cool things I want to do for you guys and for me, and like to bring them out into the world. I have these ideas. I want to do some sculptures. I want to do some 3D printed things. Like I have the ideas in my head, but I don't have the 3D printer. I can maybe ask him to borrow his at some point, but I don't even have like the extra money to hire somebody that can put the file of what I want to do into the proper format to print on a 3D printer, and I don't know how to do that myself. I could learn.
Yeah, you want to start exploring.
If I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna have to take away time from selling my art to learn how to do that. And like, I'm in this. I need money, so I can't take time to learn it because I need to sell some art. So it's like having this job is gonna let me maybe either be able to hire somebody to do it or learn it. Take the time that I need to learn it myself.
And what's the real secret that you told me off air?
What real secret that I told you off air? You're gonna have to be more specific. We said a lot of things off air.
He wants to leave Montreal forever.
Eventually, yeah. Yeah, eventually.
And there won't be any more Artie Time podcasts.
No, there will be Artie Time podcasts.
Not
It'll
like
just be
this.
split screen.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be in Costa Rica and he'll be here and freezing his ass off in February. And I'll be like, so, how's it going in fucking Montreal, German? He'll be like, I'm out here in the cold. And I'll be like, all right, well, have fun with that.
But that's something that you brought up. That you might nest egg and leave.
Well, I mean, eventually I lived in Costa Rica for 5 years. I fell in love with the country. I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the culture. I fell in love especially with the weather, or more importantly, the lack of winter.
I thought you were going to say another W.
I also got sober there. There's some people that really helped me find a new way to live that I became really fond of, you know, and like there's a whole group of them, and I'd love to reconnect with some of those people in person, face to face, and like have them in my life on a regular basis again. And there's like beaches and volcanoes and rainforests and monkeys and parrots and like, come on, like if you, I don't know, I fell in love with it. Mm-hmm. So what can I say? Yes, I have long-term goals. That's where I want to build TASM. I want to build TASM in Costa Rica. I actually met the president of Costa Rica and gave her one of my paintings. She's not the president anymore, but she was the president back when I gave her the painting. And it was actually crazy. You know, you're talking about synchronicities and this like law of attraction thing. So I was in Mexico visiting my ex-wife's family for the Christmas holidays, and we were flying back, I think it was January 3rd of 2013. So I woke up at 8 in the morning with just the weirdest feeling to bring one of my small paintings specifically to give to someone on the plane. And it was like there was hundreds of people at the airport and everything, but like this feeling I had said, give it to somebody on the plane. Just to start 2013 off with good karma, and it was just the weirdest intuitive feeling I've ever had, like to do something so specific. Like it was really, really a specific feeling to bring a little painting in my carry-on luggage to give to somebody on the plane. So I brought a little 4x4 inch painting with the intention to give it to somebody on the plane, and I was sitting with my ex-mother-in-law and my ex-wife, like waiting to get on this plane. And the president of Costa Rica walks by with her husband and her son and two security guards. And they get on the plane that I'm about to get on.
They're first class, though.
Obviously, they're in first class, but they got on first.
Obviously. They're riding in like a normal private
They're riding in an Aeromexico flight, so, you know, like, they're not on, like, there's no Costa Rican Aero Force Uno.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
So, they're on, like, a commercial flight, which I think is pretty damn cool. You know, I think that's pretty humble. She was actually, like, a really humble person when I met her. But to continue the story, like, I knew she'd be in first class, and I knew I'd have to walk by her when I got to my seat, because I sure as hell wasn't in first class. So,
so you always decided.
As I walked by her, I handed her the painting, and I said, "Here's a little." I said in Spanish, "I said, here's a little present for you. Like, I really admire you, and like, I don't want to hold up the rest of the plane." So, like, I kept walking, and she accepted it, and she looked me right in the eye, and she's like, "Wow, thank you." So I went back to my seat, and like the plane took off, and you know, 15 minutes when the plane reached altitude and people could unbuckle their seat belts again, the stewardess from first class came and got me and said, "The president wants to meet you." So
the president wants to meet you.
I went up to first class, and we had a chat for like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and you know, she asked me where I was from, and I explained I was from Montreal, and her that was a cool connection because her husband had lived in Montreal for like 15 years, and she's like, "Oh wow!" So, and then he started asking me about these restaurants that are famous in Montreal, like Dunn's and things like that, and like, "Oh, is it still open?" and things like we had this little weird connection because of that. And then like I asked her if I could take a picture of her with the painting, and she said, "Oh, don't be stupid, I'll get in the picture with you." And then I forget what her son's name is, but she told her son, like, here, don't be, I forget what she said, but she said something like, "Don't be lazy or don't be rude, come take a picture with this nice artist here who's been kind enough to share his work with us." And she was just really, really humble and really nice, and I told her how I admired her, you know, going into a career in politics in a part of the world that's really, really macho. where, you know, a lot of guys still feel that women belong in the kitchen and women shouldn't work. And the other side of the coin is true. A lot of women feel like they shouldn't have to work, and if their husband wants them to work, their husband's not a real man if he's not bringing enough money to support the family on his own. So it's a weird dynamic there. But like, she went into like politics, like this real tough career in a super macho part of the world, and she made it to the top. So like, you know,
She's an inspiration.
yeah, she was an inspiration.
I want to ask you though, when you were talking about the intuition you had to bring a painting on the plane, what was your intuition to go check Craigslist for that job?
I honestly always
that play out?
I check Craigslist like every once in a while, just out of habit. Over years, I've checked Craigslist every once in a while for like music equipment, for jobs. I'm actually looking for a part-time intern this summer to help me out a little bit.
Did you post it on
I didn't post it on Craigslist yet. I posted it in some groups that are a little more local, because Craigslist is like the island of Montreal and I'm just off the island, so I posted it in some more local Facebook groups, hoping to get somebody that doesn't have to take the bus as much, and will be more likely to show up if they're only 10 minutes away instead of an hour and 10 minutes away. But yeah, I'm looking for an intern this summer to help me out with you know, doing fill-ins on some of my big paintings.
Well, you had an intern come this week.
Yeah, I did. I had an assistant come to help me out. She's a fan of mine on Instagram and actually on Facebook, and she watches these podcasts. I think she's even commented a few times. Aunt B, I don't know if that's your name on all of them, but if you see her comment down here by MTL Aunt B or Aunt B, like, she's awesome. Like, I really appreciate your help when you came by. It's awesome because one thing that's cool this week is I just passed 7 years since I've had a drink. On April 9th, I haven't had a sip of alcohol in 7 years. I used to drink, get drunk almost every day. So it was a big change for me, and a lot of people congratulated me on my Facebook, like literally probably more than 100 people, and then on my other platforms and my emails and everywhere. So I had like literally more than 100 people to reply to. So she was doing some fill-ins on my new big painting that we had behind us in the last episode, and I replied to all those people while she was doing that. So it was amazing to have that help, and like, I don't even know how to describe how it opened something in my mind, because I know, like, pretty much all artists get to a point where they have to have assistants help them with something, whether it be actually physically doing fill-ins on the painting, or one thing I'd maybe like to have somebody help me do this summer is, you know, build the Etsy store on the side. I won't promote it aside from my own website. I'll always promote my own website, but for people who are already shopping on Etsy, if I don't have to invest the time to build that store and somebody can copy paste my listings from my website over to Etsy, then it's kind of silly for me not to, and maybe even put my products on Amazon and things like that, because the more places that people can shop for my stuff, the better. So I can put mandala tablecloth on Amazon, and
Yeah,
but
why
like
not?
right now I haven't wanted to do that so much, because it honestly takes a long time to set up listings
there's better things to
for
do.
hundreds of products.
There's better things to do with your life than fucking work for Amazon.
Yeah. But at the same time, if that's like, Amazon is the equivalent of Instagram, where the eyeballs are, where the shoppers are, they're on Amazon. So if I want people to be buying my mandala tablecloths, it's kind of also silly for me not to have mandala tablecloths for people to type up on Amazon instead of just on my own website. So like, it's something that I hadn't really wanted to do just by myself, but if I can have somebody's help putting my things for sale on all these other platforms as well, then why not? You know, it doesn't matter to me where a sale comes from. If it comes from somebody who wants to buy my thing because they really like it, then that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and hopefully it'll lead them to my social medias as well, you know, because of course I'll put my name in these listings too, and hopefully that'll be good for my search engine optimization on my website. It'll be good for a lot of things. It'll be good for my name. It'll be good for everything. So you know, I think it's something that I'm really excited about, and honestly, if like I kind of wish I would have had an opportunity more when I was starting to learn to do something like that with someone else who was more successful than me, to learn from them. Because you know, I'm not just going to be there with a whip and, you know, like, do this, do that. No, I want to, like, become friends with this person and help them launch their own art career. And by doing this for me, they'll be like, okay, now I know how to build an Etsy store. If I have them help me do
Not just
listings
that.
on my own website, they'll be like, okay, now they know how to build their own website.
Not just that, like, you got pens, you got all these connects to make products,
Mm-hmm.
and as an intern, you'd be able to get that connect, you know. And I've worked for a whole bunch of people who have bust the hookups, aka you don't want to use their hookups, worth nothing, boy. They're garbage, and his are amazing. So I think there's that to benefit from.
Yeah, yeah. In addition to being able to ask me any questions you've got about, you know,
It's a leg
working as
up.
an artist.
It's
Exactly.
a leg up. And when
It's a
you
leg
get-
up. It's a win-win situation. We spoke about in the last episode about you know, it's better to make an exchange if you're gonna have interns or assistants. So that's another thing that I'm excited about with being able to get this job, is that hopefully I'll be able to pay an assistant
No,
for
yeah,
for
way
4
more
or
generous.
6 hours a week. I'll be able to pay this assistant straight up money, instead of like, oh well, you know, you could have one of my t-shirts, or like, you know, money talks, bullshit walks, let's face it. So you know, I think it'll get me a more dedicated assistant, and that's something that can really help me long term.
I'm still nervous about the assistant thing. I'd like to give it my all, and I don't know if I have the time.
Meaning what?
I don't know if I have the time to deal with an assistant like that.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, you know, I'm here. I'm not. I'm like, in my case, like, I'm kind of.
Like, I paint at night. So what, like, show up at midnight. Be there from midnight to 6 a.m. You know
But
what
that's
I mean?
the
It's
thing,
like-
is you create the outline from midnight to 6 a.m. The guy wants to come at 1 p.m. You let him come at 1 p.m. and paint while you're doing whatever else you do.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's what I'm going to do. I mean,
Well,
I paint at night too, but I don't expect people to come here at 3 in the morning and paint from 3 to 5 in the morning, or
Because
3
the way
to
I
8
see
in the
it,
morning.
the way I see it is it's not an intern. It's like a protege, and that person, you need to have them with you at all times. It's not like it serves them nothing to paint. Painting is such like a little aspect of what it means to be. If you want my help, you know what I mean?
It is, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's
Can't have you
like,
painting. I gotta have you out and about.
yeah. See, I don't know. Like, I don't know what you would want an assistant for. Me, I would want an assistant to help me with doing my online listings, perhaps doing some of my
Or
social
protege,
media
that's what
postings,
I mean.
and painting.
Want to mentor another person so that
But
so that they can make it.
But I do too, and I want them to understand that a lot of those things that I'll have them do will be part of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, they will be learning, and like, I don't want a mini me. You know, I want somebody that's got their own ambitions and their own goals and their own ideas and whatever. Obviously, learning the nuts and bolts of how to make an art career happen. You know, I don't want my assistant to just be painting for me. Sometimes doing big fill-ins on some of my big paintings will save me a lot of time, and I want to get into making more big paintings. So for me, that's something that seems logical for me to go that way.
I think we spoke about this before. If you're interning for someone, make sure you ask a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect the person to hand you everything because they don't even know what you want.
Yeah, or what you're
Looking for.
what you're curious about, because you know, I can tell somebody a whole bunch of information, but like, if they're like, Adam, where can I get the embroidery done on my jackets? If they want to know that, but I'm telling them about SEO on a website and how to make listings on Amazon and da-da-da-da-da, and they don't speak up and say, hey Adam, where did you get your embroidery done? Then I'm not psychic. You know, I can't jump into their head and be like, oh shit, oh, he wants to know where I got my embroidery done? Well, psychic Adam better pop out and be like, oh, you do it here. You know? Like,
That voice. No, but it's
You've never met Psychic Adam before?
artists know.
He has that voice.
If an artist is successful and running it full time, they know too much. Way too much. I said if an artist is running the ship full time, they know too much. Where other businesses, it's like delegated, you know?
Yeah.
They don't need to know what's going on in the fucking gutter cabinet over there in the coal mine.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But
No, I mean,
in
like,
the art world, you know what's happening in the coal mine, in the sewers, everything.
and you know, there's some artists that won't always know that, and that once.
When you get big,
it's
you
maybe
can
that
delegate.
won't. Yeah, when you get big, you have to delegate. Like, that's what it comes down to. You have to have other people helping you. You can't do it all yourself all the time. Like, even if delegating means having somebody help you pack your art when you're doing an exhibit or bringing it to show in public somewhere, and having somebody bubble wrap it all for you while you're on your computer or doing your Instagram messages or whatever. Like, little things like that can save an artist a lot of time, and can give somebody who wants to learn from an artist a lot of opportunities to connect with, build a relationship and rapport with, and learn from at the same time. So I've been talking a lot this podcast, like, what's new with your business lately? Like, what's going on with Germ Corp? What's the newest fire that you've put out of your studio in the last, like, 24 hours? Because you probably put out more in the last 24 hours than I put out in the last, like, 20 days.
The last 24 hours has been a Richie Rich Louis Vuitton pattern, which I did for fun, just as a joke, and then everyone said they wanted it. So then I made a little bit of a R&D research into what people want on canvases, and here's my new reasoning for 2 new pieces. If you put symbols that people attribute to high society and high value, then they're more willing to invest in that art piece, because the art piece already resonates the thing that they wanted it to resonate, which was good investment, wealth, and high prices.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that said, Bart Simpson, Gucci, Bart's girlfriend, Chanel is the new pieces, and we'll see how they do.
Nice.
Just as simple as that. Just those logos. Obviously, it'll be bootlegged.
Like, honestly,
It'll be bootlegged. But
if you're watching
images that people attribute to wealth, and will that? This is most of my art is a social experiment. If people don't realize that, my comics are to make people laugh, but my art on a canvas is a service to society. And what does society want? Apparently, and I'm gonna see, they want Chanel and Gucci.
And Louis Vuitton.
The Louis Vuitton, I just like their pattern. I think they're stupid. The Gucci and the Chanel are perfect because they're both Vesica Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same logo. They're literally the same logo. So it's cool to have one be a boy and one be a girl when it's the same logo. And Louis Vuitton, I like to put it in the background. I would like to put it in the background of both these pieces just to show my ignorance to the culture of high fashion. You know, like, but that's a Louis Vuitton pattern with a Gucci. I love it when people comment that, like, oh, yeah, genius. What do you think I Googled? What do you think I Googled? Just fucking cool, rich pattern. Obviously, I know what the pattern's called.
Burberry, dude. You need to do some Burberry.
Oh, is that the one where it's
That's the plaid, like the brown and red and white plaid and black.
Yeah, I know.
I
Some
think
people have it
that'd be
as
pretty
scarves and stuff. I don't know. I'm not feeling that so much. I like the things that I like. That's the thing. So when someone comes out of nowhere and they're like, do a da 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 da, it's like, bro, I don't get it. I'm not into that.
Well, it's
I'm
good.
Okay, we are back.
Nice. That was a weird.
Yeah, don't ask me about toys.
Don't ask you about toys.
No.
Why, you've never seen the movie with Robin Williams?
Isn't that Toy Story?
No. Toy Story is not with Robin Williams.
This is what?
Toys. The movie Toys.
I've never seen Toys.
It's an awesome movie. Anyway, I'm sure you would like it. It's right up your alley. It's all about, like, a toy company and, like, how toys...
Why I say don't bring up my toys is because...
What toys?
I invested in the 3D printer. It's awesome. It's super fun.
What are you talking about?
But,
I don't know what he's talking about now.
my toys.
What toys?
Okay, then I guess we won't talk about it.
But
what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. You didn't want to talk about toys, so I'm trying to respect your I don't want to talk about the toys, and you start talking about the toys. So
and then you ruin the conversation by...
I didn't ruin the conversation.
My man, adapt. If I'm talking about the toys, then I'm talking about the toys.
All right, so talk about the fucking toys. What's the toys?
The toys are tough. The toys are tough. Like, they are not a pleasure to paint.
Oh.
They're fun to design. They're fun to print. They're fun to look at. They're tough to market because you can't come out and show all the toys you're making, which is the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be like, look at this prototype, look at this prototype, look at this prototype, because you're muddying the waters in terms of the business world. Paradox of choice starts to enter in, and people don't know how to support or what to buy because they fucking keep seeing all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that sucks about toys is like and a blessing too at the same time is I'm realizing that it's like a hobby. It's something that I do that does help my business, but it is not at all my number one A game passion.
Mm-hmm.
That is painting, and that's why I spend way more time painting and way more time thinking about painting and like Chanel and Gucci. That's the next thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, I'll
because
be honest,
that's my passion.
We hang around a lot, and like there's, you know, for every hour you see on camera, there's 5 hours that are not on camera that we're just sitting here talking, or he's looking and doing research and asking me for ideas or what I think about this idea that he came up with, or and I'll be doing the same thing with him, you know, asking him what he thinks about this or that or the other thing, and having him proofread my articles on Steam It and things like that. So you know, like that's I forget what my point was with that. But yeah.
Well, my point was that the toys are fun, but really something that I don't want to stress a lot about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about stress in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that stress in my life of I have to paint 12 Sarios right now. I'm telling you, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's so long. You gotta move them around. You gotta let it dry, and it stops the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Put it down to dry, and then do the other one, and then is it dry? It's dry now. And you know, it's just like I don't dig that at all.
I totally understand what you're talking about because I just painted one of Chris Dyer's toys for his upcoming show that's going to be, I think it's in Boulder, Colorado, and this is his Galactic Dude toy, and I literally must have spent, look, he's wearing Vans shoes. Vans shoes, I don't know if anyone at Vans shoes ever watches this, but if you're watching this, like, I literally painted Vans shoes on this guy because I love Vans shoes. So if you're watching this and you love people that love Vans shoes, I'm one of those people. So yeah, this guy took me literally about 40 hours to paint. It was a crazy. His
And
mouth is all
here.
3D and everything, and all his teeth and getting in his mouth and between these little pyramid shapes and
To get
the
someone
leaf
just
there, like, and underneath, and the bottom shoes even have the pattern on it. Like I went all out on this. The chain, like it's detailed, and it was like his watch has the time 7:10 on it because this is going to be in Boulder, Colorado, and 7:10, if you flip that upside down, it spells oil. So like,
look, 40 hours at a minimum wage, that thing is worth over $500.
Yeah.
The problem in our society is we're so flooded with toys that people don't even realize that Chinese people are painting them by hand, and that also that this is worth $500 or more. You know how hard it is to convince someone that a toy is worth $500?
well, it depends who you're trying to convince, because
The
there's
mass populace, is what I'm trying to say.
there's
The mass populace, the percentage of people.
this show isn't in a mass populace. It's not in a toy store.
I'm
This
talking
show
about
is in an
culture,
art
bro.
gallery.
I'm talking about culture in general, not about a niche fucking oil dabbing fucking Colorado mooks.
But that's who I painted this for.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about like general mooks, average mooks. They would scoff at a $500 toy. Although, what is there to scoff at? There's 500 man hours put in there. Just because we have slaves in factories painting our toys and painting our things doesn't make that less valuable. And that's what I realized in the whole toy making industry that I'm in, which is I'm making these toys and I'm fighting against the current.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fighting a current of like, oh, that guy just pays thousands of dollars to Asians, and he gets his toys painted, and he gets 500 more toys than you, and I'm there with one toy painting it by hand. Mm-hmm. I think my toy's nicer. I think my toy is more authentic and honest. Does the world care? I don't know. I think I'm fighting against a current. So that will just be used now as just a talking point. Mm-hmm. Just a way to say, oh yeah, but you know what? Check your stamp. It says made in fucking China. And mine doesn't. It doesn't need to go past that point. I don't think it needs to be any more of a point than that. My next point needs to be clothing and subsequently canvases.
Mm-hmm.
And clothing, I think I'm going to go to Pollution and Coke Air.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a hard time with Cream. Cream was a great hat company. Was a fantastic hat company. But going into shirts, it just causes issues every so often. The embroidery jank shirts, you have to have it like perfectly perfect. Because if not, it's on an angle and it looks weird. Where Pollution's all like, woo! So you can have it off-center a bit. Nike, the Coke Air logo can be off-center a bit and it doesn't show. So it's more perfect for an at-home embroidery type person. And really, that's who I am. I'm a culture mashing person that's trying to take popular culture and mash it and re-engineer it so that it makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all pollution. It's all pollution. The McDonald's, the Coke, the fucking Nike, anything you see in a day that's an advertisement, that's pollution. And I think we should start identifying as such and make pollution cool again.
No, I agree. Like, you know, and that's what's that like goes back to what we started this podcast talking about, is the frustration of dealing with social media that isn't social anymore. That's more media than social. They don't care if nobody sees your posts as long as they get, you know, their Coke and Burger King ads in front of you, and so if you follow content creators that you really like their content and you wonder where they went, just go over to their page, type in their name, go over to their page and like a few posts, and voila, all of a sudden you're going to start seeing their content again. Because if you're not liking almost every post, you're Facebook and Instagram assume, like, if you don't like everything they do, you're probably not that interested.
Well, let me tell you,
and they'll replace it with somebody whose posts you like everything they do, and or somebody whose posts you react with. So if you find your news feed is flooded with political crap that makes you angry, and you comment on it about how angry you are about it, your news feed is going to become full of political stuff that'll make you angry, because Facebook is going to be like, oh, this person enjoys that because they actually interact with it, whereas they let all this positive stuff just go by without giving a like. So if you find that your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed are depressing you or stressing you out or full of negative stuff, pay attention to what you're giving your actual likes and comments to, because that's how their algorithms work.
I was thinking recently, and I haven't done it yet, so if you're hearing this and you think it's a good idea, do it before me and make me look stupid. Writing down a list of the people that inspire me. Because those people are a fuel to my fire. And when Instagram doesn't show me them, I'm losing the juice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better off to have a list at my desk or something. I don't have Wi-Fi at home, but let's say there's a list. And you're like, so see what Johnny B. Good is doing.
Like just today.
Hey, that's a real guy.
Just today, there's an artist I follow.
Check out Johnny B. Good.
There's an artist I follow on Facebook. And he's been frustrated with Facebook algorithms, and I saw him post today, like, I'm not posting my art on Facebook anymore because literally nobody sees it. And I went over to his page and literally nobody saw it. He had all these posts about his art that I never saw, and I like a lot of his posts when I do see them. So, and he said, follow me over on Instagram, and I went over to his Instagram. I didn't even know, like, I haven't seen any of his posts on Instagram in months, and it turns out I'm already following the guy on Instagram. And I'm not seeing any of his posts on Instagram. So, like, what's up with that? What's up with that? Why won't you show me what I want to see?
Invest in RL, just like LP said in the comments.
Yeah.
If we're so convinced that social media is a golden goose, it just keeps laying the golden eggs, that we're all there and we think we're going to become social nomads and all these catchphrases of basically we're going to get easy money. Let's be real. We're millennials and we want that easy money. We're chasing the easy money. The thing is that it's kind of over. Social media isn't really social media. You're getting duped. And if you put all your eggs in that basket, I don't even care if it's Steam It, Mines, I don't care what you want to call it. If you put your eggs in those basket, that basket is getting swiped by a Yogi Bear because it's not real. It's a facade. It is not showing it to the amount of people that you need it to show it to. And for the 100 monkey effect to happen, it has to happen socially and locally. And it could have happened when it was happening in the golden age of Facebook. It's because, let's say we were at a college together. Now, American situation, because as Canadians, we don't have the same, as Quebecers, we do not have the same advantage that other people have. We're in school together. Hey, we did a prank. Ha ha ha. This is our Already Time podcast. Our network, who are all English, see it immediately in our college, yours, and it propagates within the college
right away.
Right away within our demographic. It's spider webs. Now what happens? I post. Oh yeah, it's gonna show it to my aunt in Kentucky and my do, and it doesn't show it to the network. The network that I just formed over the last couple weeks and months at the college that could balloon. And
well, and there's also a time delay now. I mean, I used to post things and people would see them right away. Now my news feed is full of posts from 3 days ago, even last week half the time.
Which is weird because they know that instant gratification. They know that people post and they sit there and they watch their posts. So give them what they want. Fucking hook them up to their IV of the likes. Why are you making them wait 3 days before they get their likes?
No, and and it's also like it's annoying because I'll see these posts about events after the event.
Yeah.
And like that happens too when I post events. Like I'll create an event. Sometimes I do open houses here at my studio, and I'll create an event page for it. And like a day or two after the event, somebody will comment on that event page like, "Thanks Facebook for showing me this 2 days after the event."
Here's the diabolical truth of what's going on. They're making less content creators out of all of us. We used to all content create. Check out this YouTube video! Your fucking mom was sharing YouTube videos. Now YouTube videos don't work. Now your mom shuts the fuck up. Soon, you'll shut the fuck up. And then, Burger King ads. And what's really going to happen is they're going to force everyone to live. The stories are going to get cut, and then they're going to basically only show live things. But 90% of people don't want to go live.
And even
so
then,
90% of people become watchers.
You can't even
Watchers
go live
of
unless
the
you have
ads.
1,000 subscribers on
No,
YouTube
yeah,
anyway.
exactly. You are just a watcher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're not a content creator. You watch the ads.
No, there's a whole lot less social and a whole lot more media coming into social media.
But it's evident.
But
to me, it's evident that that's what they're doing. They're crushing the general populace.
At the same time,
for
I
ads.
think that what's going on is going to give no option but for a new social media of some sort to flourish, where it will work like social media is supposed to. Because social media was amazing back when Facebook was working the way it should, when things came in your newsfeed right away, and your friend's at this bar or at this party or at this art gallery, and he's like, "Yo, man, I'm here. Come down. I'll be here for 3 hours." And then you're like, "Oh, I'm only 2 minutes away from there." Like, you put your coat on and you go. But now you don't see that post until 3 days after he was at the gallery.
Yeah.
So it's like it just shuts down the flow of social information and social connection.
Had to do also with the political rallying.
Yeah, it had a lot to do with politics.
Thanks,
thanks politics for ruining another awesome thing. But
control of the masses, bro. Politics is the control of the masses.
I believe that the internet is too big and there's too many smart people and there's too much money to be made. Let's face it. If you made a Facebook that worked like that again and you charged people $1 a year to be a member of it, and they saw all the stuff from their followers and their followers saw you, and it was working where social people could connect and you could connect with people in groups about the things you love.
Pay more than $1.
Like,
I'll pay more than $1.
I would pay more than $1 too, but sign me up for $1 the first year and then raise my prices till it's $10 a year and whatever, and you have 1 billion people on your platform and you're making $10 billion a year. Keep it that way. Don't go public and get into all these shareholders that are going to take control of your business. And so I believe it'll happen that some new social media will come up and be that place. And that's why I'm on all these other social medias in the meantime, because it could be one of them. And if it is one of them, then I'll already have that base on there where people are like, "Oh, this guy has 30,000 followers on Minds, and he's been on there since 2016, and now Minds is the place to be." Like, people are just going to flock to me. They're going to type in artists, and they're going to look for artists to connect with on Minds, and I'm at the top. So, like, it could be MeWe, and it could be one of these other ones. Could not be. It might not be. Maybe I'm just wasting my time on there.
No, people are definitely looking for the new online thing. Even though it should be the real life, it's online. My advice is, do the thing that you're really passionate about. Mm-hmm. And if it's niche, all the better. When people come in and they find out about you, if they're passionate about that and you're really passionate about that thing, then that's where the connection is made, and that's where the connection is thicker than blood in that scenario, because their family doesn't care about their interests, you know what I mean? So people are out looking for like-minded people. Mm-hmm. If you're there all broad, vague, I'm just a painter who paints paintings.
But that's the thing, is I wasn't broad vague. I was posting my art in groups about mandalas. I was posting my art in groups about law of attraction. I was posting my art in groups about spirituality.
So now you got to do that again in a new way, in an adaptive way, is what I'm saying. You know, if it means like going to the yoga meetings, in your town, and then you go and you show them your paintings, because those people most likely.
It just takes a lot longer. I could reach 100 groups with 8,000 members in each of those groups in minutes. No, I know it is, but it won't.
So now it's not harder.
It won't always be gone.
But
It'll
now
come
it's
back.
not harder, correct?
It'll come back.
What's harder? Beating your head against the screen until Facebook shows it to people that aren't from Zimbabwe, or going to the yoga studio? The yoga studio. So it's definitely
for me that's not easier because I don't have a car. So dragging my art dragging my art to a yoga studio is not easy. I have to bother somebody to bring me with the ride.
But the other one doesn't exist anymore, so it's easier. It's easier because the other situation is poofed, has disappeared.
Right.
So you can magician it back to existence, which you cannot, or you can walk to a yoga studio. One is easier than the other.
I suppose for me,
it was easier back in the day. Now it's no longer the case, and now one's easier than the other. That is my advice: is go out in the real world, find people that are in your niche, that are part of the things that you like as a hobby. I like toy things, so you know what? People who make toys that are interested in toy collecting, I'll show them my art. I'll show them my toys too, but really, it's like, hey, the real thing that I do is this, and that's I think that's.
Well, we also just spoke about how hard it is even to do things in real life these days because everybody's in their phones. And when you try and tell somebody about real life things that are going on through your phone, they don't find out about it until 2 days after that thing is over, unless you're messaging them.
If you go to the toy convention, people aren't on their phones unless they're taking selfies with people they admire.
No, you're right. There's lots of opportunities to go network and mingle with people in real life.
It's just not it's not 10,000 people. It's intimate and it's real. You go to a toy convention, sure, it might be thousands of people, but those people are fucking you're not even ready for that type of toy collector. You know what I mean? It's
and that's why I'm
specifically niche.
For me. That's why I'm doing.
But you
things,
need those people.
That's why I'm doing things the way I'm doing now because if I'm gonna have to do all that and go out in person and I'm gonna have to get a car. If I'm going to have to get a car, I'm going to have to get insurance, I'm going to have to get a license, I'm going to have to fill it with gas. If I'm going to do all that, I'm going to have to sell big paintings like this for a lot more money than the paintings I've been selling now.
You're going to cause them.
Yeah, I'm going to cause them, but that's not selling anything. That's costing me over $1,000. That's not making me money yet.
Still the niche market. Still going and connect with people who aren't going to be on their phones in real life.
It is, but it's also not. It's also going to be connecting with people who are going to be on their phones the whole time I'm there. And I'm not, because I don't use social media on my phone. I'm never on my phone when I'm not at home. Unless you call me on my phone, I'm not on my phone. So, and that's maybe me, that's me. And at the end of the day, I'm honestly more willing to go get a job than I am to put social media on my phone. Because, I just because of all these things we just talked about, how they crush content creators, and that frustrates me, and being frustrated and stressed about all that isn't fun. It's frustrating and stressful. So
yeah, and I think one of the most frustrating things is you can't even tell the public what's happening without them thinking you're a whiner.
Yeah,
when
of course.
There's literally a plot against us.
You know against what I mean? Artists and musicians.
There's a conspiracy. There's people behind. It's not a theory. Behind closed doors, they close a door, and in a shady boardroom, they plot our demise. And if you don't support us, we have to go and get part-time jobs. It's legit. It's 100% the truth. The truth.
No, I mean, I have a sticker that I posted that was actually, I shared it in our last podcast, and I'm going to go get it now.
All right, so look, the conspiracy, yeah, they're out to get us, but don't worry, because here at Arty Time, we do have a plan. And hopefully it involves this sticker in some way.
Yeah, there you go. See, I posted this sticker. I shared it with you guys on the last episode of Arty Time, right? And whoever is my next supporting patron is getting this sticker. Now, I talked about it in the last episode of Arty Time.
We talked about
I posted it on my Facebook. I posted it on Instagram. I posted on Minds, MeWe, Steemit, on LinkedIn. I posted it like everywhere, and I still haven't got a new patron. No one's even paid $5 for this like hand painted sticker. So
it's understandable.
And that's because
I'm busy, I got other things
that's
to do,
I
you know what
know
mean?
I know, but it's also because nobody sees the post. Like I posted about my sobriety, I had like 300 people like that post. And I posted this with my link to go sign up, but because it has my link, only 11 people like this post. So it's like there's literally 30 times more people that see my posts that aren't about my art.
But I mean, I had a post go viral yesterday, and guess how many sales that generates?
I don't know. 0.
Well, I'm assuming that none of the people that came in through that post bought something, and I'm pretty much spot on. Like if anyone bought something that day, I knew them beforehand because I'm talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have these big days, like everyone's looking to go fucking viral and have these big posts. Bro, these big posts mean nothing.
Yeah, they really do.
I made sales when I had 200 followers.
Mm-hmm.
I have 11,000 followers. It doesn't mean anything. It's still the same amount of sales. Maybe they're a little bit more frequent.
And that's
but like you can have a huge thing blow up, and this is the bolts and gears of it. If you don't have a good funnel, there's no sales. And a funnel meaning like they liked the thing, so when they went to check on the thing that you thought they were gonna check on, you were already there. Haha, planned you, and you put a product there. And if you don't have that funnel, then they go on your page, they either like or follow and leave, and they're gone. It's the nature of the internet nowadays. Back in the day, hold on, they found you, they're not leaving. They're like, my God, I've been out there in the internet. I found you, sign up to the newsletter, they're there, they're bookmarking. They know what the internet's like. The internet's a fucking madhouse, and they found a bastion of sanity, they're fucking bookmarking it. Instagram, it's like,
people who don't create content that they're
like, wake
trying
up,
to
bro.
share.
Like, we're the bastion of sanity. You follow, see post notified, do those things.
I actually spoke about it before, about that artist that posted that he's not going to be sharing his art on Facebook anymore. And like, I had no idea he was making all these posts about his art. I went over to his timeline, and like there was literally like 15 posts that about his art that I hadn't seen. I had to go to his timeline to see them, and they had no likes or 1 or 2 likes on them. And his post complaining about Facebook had like 50 likes and a bunch of comments.
I know, man. I feel so bad when I go and go on an artist that I like and I haven't liked the last, like, they haven't shown them to me.
Yeah, it's not even like, that I haven't liked them. It's I haven't seen them to even like. And I know that happens to me too when I'm posting my art.
I go and start liking them, but you know the person's going to see this.
Mm-hmm.
You know the person's going to see a fucking Germ D like the last fucking 10 photos, and it makes me look like a fucking asshole. Like I'm coming in to fucking, you know, like touch base, like, don't forget I'm still like here, but I'm not. But when you like everything at once, you're not really there. You're just like coming in spastically. I'd like it to just constantly be there, like a fucking normal person. I actually read
an article on Instagram yesterday about Instagram, and that actually really does help. If you want to see one of your favorite content creators, go to their page, like the last 10 of their posts, and you will see more of their content in your feed. That actually works.
So work for me.
It doesn't work on Facebook, but it should work for you.
It doesn't work. No, I get Mystic Spider-Man. I keep telling you.
Oh yeah,
Mystic Spider-Man, you listen to this? Is that why you're always on my feed? I don't understand it. But no, I'm constantly like trying to get certain people to appear on my feed, and bro, post notify doesn't work. Liking and commenting.
No, see first doesn't work. Like I have like 5 or 10 of my favorite artists listed on see first, and I literally never see any of their posts.
Yeah.
And then I go like, what does see first? What does follow mean anymore? Anyway, you know what? All this stuff we're talking about is like kind of frustrating. And I guess like the point of Arty Time is not to point out all the frustrating things about being an artist, is to try and find ways to overcome those frustrating things. So in my case right now, I'm kind of going to get a part-time job, hang tight, work on some big art. I have that that guy who's representing me that's interested in selling my art to some hopefully some art collectors that have some big budgets for some big art. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on making big art. I'm going to focus on getting my art maybe more into galleries, and maybe more into having other art dealers represent me and sell my art, because the truth is I've built an art career. I've sold hundreds of paintings myself. I have my own brand of clothing. I have all these things that like prove that I'm dedicated to what I do. And I kind of need to get into that next level of my career where people are going to be paying $10,000 for a painting, and the dealer or the gallery gets to keep 4,000 of that. But then when I get $6,000 at once, like that's something I can live on. I can't live off $300 and $800 paintings here and there. It's just long term. It's just like it's not going to work for me anymore to keep focusing on that.
I just want to go back to that point of like post notify. I just searched someone in Instagram and it says they have 3 new posts. Bro, how do they have 3 new posts if I'm post notified? How do they have 3 new posts I'd never seen if I'm post notified? It's fucking garbage.
And just for the record, it's Chris Dyer, who like we both are good friends with and follow and do interact with in real life, and Instagram for sure by now knows this.
The funniest is when Chris...
We 3 tag each other in posts occasionally, so
the
Facebook,
best is when Chris
Instagram knows like, we're friends.
Chris sometimes when he's talking to me, he's like, "Oh yeah, you know my last post," and starts talking as if I've seen his last post, and I'm just like, happens more often than you care to imagine. Where he starts talking about a post, and bro, they just don't show it to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're not ignored, you're not blocked. They just will not show it to me.
Yeah.
Should I turn off post notify? Should I turn off post? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like, and that's.
It's
what,
on. It's literally. I just checked. It's on.
That's where we're at right now. So I mean, you know, right now is a weird time for sharing art on the internet. But I mean, I personally, I'm pretty confident that next thing is gonna blossom, and I'm just kind of like in hibernation, waiting for that and doing my best so that when that hibernation internet period is over and like spring comes back and like, oh wow, this platform's showing our art to all our followers, and wow, it's growing and it's amazing and people are joining it because of other reasons, like whatever, like because their mom is on there and their sister's on there too, and everyone's like, yo, you got to check this new thing out. It's going to happen. How did you find out about Facebook after MySpace went down? How did you find out about whatever else? Instagram? How did you find out about Snapchat? How did you
real life people?
Yeah, exactly. And for me personally, like the real life people, the local thing, it's super, super important. But at the same time, to get like, I'm also not giving up on the internet, because the internet is literally how I've sold hundreds of paintings and made connections with collectors who spend thousands of dollars on my art. So
how are we doing the live?
Those people usually aren't local. You know, I don't know. We don't. I don't even want to talk about that because we don't even know if my equipment fits in the car to make it happen. So.
Oh shit! Because I was gonna go downtown and do a day tomorrow, so I'd have to come back to get your ass.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we won't make it happen this week. We'll make it happen next week or something.
Meet downtown or something.
Yeah, I could do that. Anyway, this should be off camera, but I guess
it's the end of the Already Time podcast.
Yeah, do you have to pee? Because I have to pee soon. So the last 2 episodes, like we didn't end them on one of us having to pee. So like this episode, we got to get back to that. We fucked up Already Time at the beginning, so let's get back to at least ending properly, where one of us has to pee, and it's so far it's always been me.
I didn't have a coffee, so I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, see, I drink all the time because like when I'm talking, I just always have to have water or juice around. That's like call center days thing. So, yeah, I'm gonna go pee, and I guess you can finish up this thing here, and then you'll wrap it up, and good stuff. So, just a quick shout out to Passion and Faith here. Passion and faith, man. That's what I think. That's what this episode is really about: is having the passion to do what it takes to keep going when times are tough, and having the faith that things will get better when they are tough. And however that ends up manifesting. You know, like I gotta be honest. I kind of feel like I'm throwing in the towel and giving up by going to get this job and working for someone else again. But you know, man, maybe I'll meet somebody at this call center who's like a huge art collector and loves my art, and I just don't know that yet. And like, I can't see that connection is coming at me. And so, like, there's all kinds of things that can that can manifest in ways that you can't predict.
And we're gonna talk about it on the next Already Time podcast for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, you know, like I'll have started work probably by the next Already Time podcast. It depends when we do it.
No, you'll have started.
But all right, so yeah, I'm gonna go pee, and you wrap this up, and remember, this sticker can be yours. Go sign up.
supporting Patreon. I'll put the link down there when it's on my channel. And don't forget, if you're watching this on my channel, like, you really got to go follow Germ. I always put his Instagram link down here. He's like Mr. Instagram mainly, so like that's the spot to follow him. Follow his stories. He's super entertaining. He's super funny. He's got a lot to say, and he's always creating new stuff. So if you're like one of my followers and not one of Germ's yet, like, you got to become one of Germ's.
That's really nice of you.
Other than that, he sucks. But like, I'm going to pee.
So listen, if you follow me on Instagram and you're not seeing my posts, well, that's because it's a conspiracy. A vast conspiracy that spans the entire web. So look, just take a little breather and know that you be friends with them. I'm there. I'm out there. Just look through the